Galamera, Galamara, or should I say Calomina, Calomina? That means happy new month. Well, I can't believe today is the 1st of November. Just gonna take you outside and give you a little look at the real estate. Again, a beautiful morning this morning, despite everything that was going on yesterday. First of all, I've just got a comment on the death of Sean Connery yesterday, which shocked a lot of people. Passed away at the age of 90. True British icon, as well as a Scottish one as well. I did love the film Highlander, as well as James Bond as well. But anyway, condolences to his family at this time. 90 years of age, good age to be honest, but one of those people you thought that would be with us forever. Also as well, I'm not sure if many people are aware of this, but in the early hours of this morning, I was going through some of the news channels. It seems a report is now surfacing that the Queen is likely to abdicate next May, in 6 months' time, at the age of, I think she's the age of 93. Prince Philip, obviously, the age of 99. If this is true, this is what the British papers, or one British newspaper is saying. She will hand the reins over to Prince Charles. So again, that's the end of another dynasty, and also the end of a legend as well. So, well, she's going into retirement, as well, we always thought she'd be there right the way through to the end. Anyway, as you can see, beautiful, beautiful morning. A lot of olive sacks as well over there. Can we zoom in on those? Yeah, there's the olive sacks. Yanni's been busy still with the harvest, bringing the olives in. And as I said, a lot has been going on. So what I'm going to do is go back up to the veranda. Noticed the mess on the veranda from the chickens this morning. And one of the cats has brought... Is that a mouse you got there? He's brought us a present, bless him. Oh, that's Nipper, by the way. Thank you, Nipper. I'll sort that out in a little while. Anyway, first of all, I'm not going to switch the camera around too quickly. The reason for that is that there's a few things I just want to show you on my laptop about what's happening here on the island. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll quickly show my face first and then switch it round. Right, so what's been going on then? Right, 1st of November 2020. Oh yeah. Just a little light-hearted note. Me Halloween special, I couldn't believe it, charted yesterday. Went into the pop chart at number 36, the reggae chart at number 18. I was a little bit disappointed it didn't get into the Halloween chart. Anyway, you never know, it might do that. But anyway, thank you for all those people who've been tuning in, listening to the show, and also dropping me comments as well. I greatly appreciate that. Right, as I said, yesterday's been quite a mega day, actually. First of all, 2,000 new cases of coronavirus have been reported here in Greece. That is another record smashed. We've had 5 record infections in a row that have been smashed. That's bringing the total amount of infections since the pandemic started to 39,251. We've also had 6 deaths as well in Greece. That is one up on Friday. So the death toll has crept up by 1 to 6 deaths for yesterday, and that is now a total of 626 deaths in Greece since the pandemic started. There's also 135 people in the ICUs. That is an increase as well from 128 the other day. However, one thing that we haven't seen, and I've got to re-emphasize this, we've not seen any figures on testing as to how many tests have been conducted. They've not given any figures out for testing in quite a while, and I do plough through the stats trying to find it. But at the moment, yes, a lot of new cases are being announced, but they're not saying how much testing is being done to obviously balance out the amount of tests against, the new cases. So again, it does leave us in a bit of a quandary. We seem to be following everybody else at the moment. Right. Yesterday, there was announcements made about new measures. Hello, Sandy. About new measures that have been put in by the Prime Minister, and about the changes again to the way that the virus is being handled. Now, the Prime Minister was in Samos yesterday, visiting the earthquake area, but I will talk about that in just a little while. But anyway, one of the big main changes at the moment, which is what I want to show you on my screen, is that there is now to be new nationwide measures to come into progress. And what has happened as well is, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I showed you the map, the COVID map. Well, the COVID map has now changed. Yep, the Health Ministry decided that they were going to simplify the COVID map into just 2 zones instead of 4. Now, we were, if you remember, we were in the orange and the orange zone for a while, which was then the 3rd tier. And then we were then put down into the green zone, basically just last week. We went into the green zone, which was great. That meant less restrictions. We could do more stuff. Anyway, the Greek ministry has now decided to change that system. They are now running on 2 zones, Zone A and Zone B. This being Zone A, where we are at the moment. I'm just getting me mouse. Come on, mouse, where are you? There we go. There's me mouse. Right, we are here. We're in Zone A, okay? And Zone B is the red. So these are the areas that are greatly affected at the moment by the COVID virus. We've got Athens over here, and obviously the north of the country up here. Right, so what does that mean then? Well, basically it means the new measures that have been brought into place, basically mandatory masks are to be worn indoors and outdoors. Travel restrictions now from midnight till 5 o'clock in the morning. However, travel across the country is not affected. All right. So basically, you can still get around the country. You're not locked down into an area. You must stay there, but you can move. Retail shops will stay open. And this also includes schools and hotels as well. And gymnasiums too will be able to stay open. Basically, what this map is showing is basically the infection. But in some ways, we're all being treated in the same way, despite the colour that is on the map. Also as well, from what I can understand, is that you will have to wear masks when you're going on the ferry. Schools which will still stay open. However, universities are going to be staying, basically broadcasting their lessons online. And obviously students will be working from home. They're also encouraging businesses that can do it, that they want to see businesses now working from home. Again, the same as what's happening in the UK, people working from home online, if your business is able to do that. So there you go. That is the new measures in at the moment. We're going to see how that is all going to play and work out. It is, to be quite honest, a little bit confusing at times as well. And I think people will be a little bit confused by it all. But basically, everybody, dependent on where you are all in the same amount of restrictions, the same amount of rules. There is talk at the moment that the measurements may actually get even more extreme because the rate is going up. And to be honest, it's kind of changing daily as to the way that the Greek government want to handle it. Just going back to the news then, Greek Prime Minister, as I said, visited Samos yesterday. He went and visited the area where the devastation took place on Friday. He also met with the parents of the 2 teenagers that were killed. The island there, Samos, is now, and the surrounding area is now in a state of emergency, and that state of emergency is going to last for 6 months. So, we'll keep an eye on that. There's also been reports of aftershocks there as well, which have been quite strong, as to be expected with an earthquake, that you always seem to get a lot of aftershocks afterwards. Also, as well, hitting the Greek media is the story of a death of a Greek priest who was shot while closing his church in Lyon. He is in a serious condition. He was hit twice, the police think, by a hunting rifle. The police cordoned off the area where his Greek Orthodox church was and the surrounding neighbourhood. And at the moment, he is in intensive care and he is critical. So basically, we're going to wait and see what happens to him. This obviously comes on the back of the shooting or the killings that happened in a Catholic church that was in Nice. Just a few days before, amid the tensions about the caricatures of the Prophet Muhammad, which inflamed Islamic fundamentalists to do what they've been doing. So again, we shall keep a little eye on that. And some good news is Greece has received more than 9 bids for a 67% stake in the Orgamensa port, and if you're wondering where that is, that's up in the north of the country on the mainland, and it's sort of opposite Corfu. It's one of the places where you get the ferry if you want to go by ferry across to Corfu. Anyway, companies like Aegean Oil, Attica Holdings and Anik Ferries have shown an interest, and basically is this all part of the privatisation programme that the Greek government wanted to see better use of its country assets, country infrastructure, and at the moment they reckon that they've raised over 7 billion euros with these schemes, which also includes things like the airports and also other ports. Very successful port at the moment is Piraeus port, which the Chinese invested very heavily in. I remember the skeptics saying, oh, you'll never get that to work, but the Chinese seem to have turned that port round and it's now one of the busiest ports in Europe. So again, we'll keep a little eye on that, especially for those people who like to drive over to Zakynthos and like to drive around Greece, and we'll see how that fans out as well. Let's have a look and see who's tuning in on this beautiful Sunday morning here. First of all, Julie Sheridan is tuning in. She says, morning, Ginge. Heather Flynn is also watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in, Heather. Jack Harmer, he's also watching as well. Brett Weston is watching as well. Amanda Gregory is watching up the hill there. How the little dog's doing, my lovely. Nikos Masuris is also watching as well. Nice to see you as well. Andy Johnson is watching. Amanda Gregory, yes, managed a live show, laugh out loud, a morning. Pups fed at 8 a.m. Your pups were fed at 8 a.m. I was up around about the same time feeding the cats and keeping the chickens away at that time. So I know how you feel, as well as gathering the news as well. Martin Cussell is watching. Old Raf Reg buddy, nice to have you here. Pete Ashmore is watching as well. Sue Dickinson, Andy Hughes, Amanda Gregory. Is Jane able to get back? Do you know what? I haven't got a clue at the moment. I know a lot of things are happening in the UK. Everybody's wondering what's going to happen there. There's more lockdowns on the way. I know her area is in one of these lockdowns at the moment. So at the moment, I'm just waiting to find out. I've not actually heard from Jane this morning, so I haven't been looking and checking, to be quite honest. I know she's watching the podcast, but I will see what she's having to say. Anyway, Linda down there in Wales is saying good morning. Also, Lindsay is saying good morning as well. Christopher Lloyd is watching. Nice to see you, Christopher. Margaret Black, lovely to have you tuning in, Margaret. Hope everything's all okay with you. Patrick Curtin is looking in. He says, morning, Mr. Coldwell. Thank you, Patrick. Very formal. Dave Bowen is tuning in as well. Jason C. Bennett is looking in as well. Tim Crystal, morning, Ginge. Hope you're well. Is Jane okay? And is she able to get back? Your question is as good as mine. We're waiting to see what will transpire. Hilary Rogers is also watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in as well, Hilary. Also, Lyndon says, Tim Crystal, good morning, mate. Very windy here today. So it's windy where you are in Wales. Weather here today is just absolutely glorious, to be honest. Mary Dolan is watching as well. Nice to have you with us. Talbot Sue Keith is watching as well. Susie Angus, she's watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in as well. Sue Waldron is tuning in as well. Tim Crystal, Lyndon, Lyndon here. It's dry, cloudy. It's dry and cloudy, but dry, which is a change because it's been raining. There's people passing the weather forecasts here. about around the UK, which is nice. When you compare where I am at the moment, it's fantastic, isn't it, Sandy? There you go. Tracy Mitchell is looking in. Jan Lawrence is looking in. Christo. Hello, Christo, mate. How you doing? Nice to have you tuning in as well. Christo used to work with us at Magdalena's. Oh, and even Tim is saying good morning to Christo as well, which is rather nice. Tommy Burns is watching. Nice to have you as well. Alan Higgins is watching. The whole of UK of Thursday until December. He's talking about the lockdown. Yep, that's right. Again, we're being told the same here by the authorities. They're doing this now so that we'll have a Christmas, but we shall wait and see, to be quite honest, what happens there. Anyway, Tracy Mitchell says we are on lockdown from Thursday. That's interesting to hear. Patrick Curtin says Essex is dry so far. Oh, and Amanda says the pups are well and putting on weight. We are keeping these two. Laugh out loud. Good luck to you. Anyway, anybody who picks the strays up is good in my book anyway. Anyway, so that's it from me from this morning. I'm starting to rabbit a little bit. As you can see, things here in the COVID thing is on the rise. New maps have come in online, which obviously all the conditions are laid out in each of the zones. So we are now in zone A. I can't see much difference between Zone A and Zone B, to be quite honest, but we'll see how things transpire. The government is also talking about maybe more announcements about more measures at the moment. And at the moment, even a lot of the Greek media is all a little bit confused by some of the new measures coming in and the rules and regulations. So you trawl between one to the other to get to the root of the matter. But anyway, that's what you do when you're researching the news and trying to be as accurate as you can. Anyway, once again, today I'm going to be out feeding the strays down in Kalamaki. See how they're getting on. I bet they're having a wonderful time. Of course, now we're really now into the last threads of tourism here now in Greece for 2020. There are still a few tourists about, not many, but a few. And this next week, up until about maybe the 5th of November, firework night, my God, we will see who's still here and who has gone. And the island then basically comes back to us again for the winter, and we're going to see how things pan out for the winter as well. Anyway, that's it from me. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have some word on Lady Jane tomorrow as well. Anyway, you take care. Have a great day wherever you are. Oh, and I'll be popping in Claude's as well a bit later on if anybody's going to be around Claude's Melon Bar, and I'll catch you there. Anyway, I'll see you again later. You take care. Ta-ra.